Welcome everybody back to the panel discussion day 2. Let me introduce you to the moderator of the session, Dr. Dipesh, Regional Coordinator, Southwestern Region of NCCIP, AICT. He's BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering and MTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Kerala University. So over to you, Dipesh, Dr. Dipesh.
Thank you, Dr. Raj, for that short bio. And welcome, namaste, welcome all our esteemed panelists and also the delegates who have joined from various locations around the world for this day 2 of the panel discussion on holistic human health. Let me warmly welcome our esteemed panelists who have joined from across the world. We have Dr. Satyanarayana, we have Dr. Nalini, we have Dr. Aparajita Singh, and we have Dr. Swapan Janana for join. Namaste, warmly welcome you all for this session on the day 2. So let me warmly welcome Dr. Sharmila Asthana for giving the USB update on that. Dr. Sharmila Asthana did her MBBS in Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Medical College, Indore, and MD in Pediatrics from the Regional Children's Hospital in Southern New Jersey. And currently she lives in Hyderabad with her husband and 2 sons. And in spare time, she likes to read and write. And she has got a wide range of experience in the field of pediatrics. And she was the senior consultant pediatrician with Apollo Hospital.
Let's the second day, no, doesn't matter. We'll go ahead.
Okay, I was making it short. Okay. So welcome, Dr. Sharmila Asthana. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Dipesh, and warm welcome to everybody back on the second day. If we briefly recap what we talked about yesterday, and then we'll move forward to what we heard in the keynote this morning. So if we recap what we were talking about yesterday, we were talking about the achievements we've had in health, but also many concerns regarding stress and mental health, focus being more on disease, values being lacking, inaccessibility, financial burden of the system. These were some of the concerns that we talked about yesterday. And the question that was raised was, is there a need for a holistic perspective on health? So if we look at, many of us felt that, yes, we do need, and but the question that was being raised often was, how are we going to do it? So if we look at this, what we had talked about, if we look at it from the piecemeal approach, and we look at physical health, getting rid of disease, that approach doesn't seem very adequate. So we talked about, we treat the disease, we not only are we not, talking of health, we are talking more of disease, but then we are also, when we talk of medicine or treatment, it's like we are very often suppressing the very symptoms of the disease, as we spoke of in terms of hypertension or diabetes. So the vision that was talked about this morning, if we even look at physical health, the proposal was for taking care of health in a more holistic manner, not just looking at the medication and treatment part, but also about paying attention to what we are taking in, our lifestyle, the exercise part, some additive things like postures, regulated breathing. So should health education and healthcare not be focusing on 1, 2, 3, and 4, rather than just be focusing on 4? Because if we really want to look at health, perhaps we should be looking at all of these aspects in health to make a more complete solution-centric approach. Next slide. So this was the program, the details of the program for the health system in terms of physical health. And if we can focus on 1, 2, 3, and 4, perhaps we can include all of this in the curriculum in medical and nursing education so that truly health could be addressed. And this would also address the financial burden of the healthcare system on society today. Next slide. Talking of mental health, which was another concern. Now, when we look at it today, we talk about brain being in charge of the body, being responsible for all the parts of the body and their functioning. Yet we say that we need to train the brain, we have to rewire the brain, or we have to fool the brain into thinking such and such. So if brain is the one that is doing everything, then who is the one doing the training or the rewiring of the brain? Do we have clarity about that entity? So certainly looks like we need to understand this entity. And so we heard this proposal in the morning about the human being being a coexistence of self and body, that these are two distinct entities, that the mind is a part of the self or the consciousness, the brain is a part of the body, which is material. So now, if we understand the self, perhaps we can address the problem of mental health at the root in the self and tackle some of the psychosomatic diseases more efficiently. But we can discuss that. We can have a look at that, maybe do more research on that. But at least if we open that door in the system of medical education, perhaps we could have more success. Next slide. So when we talk of stress, we really are actually looking for it outside, that situations stress us out, activities, people stress us out. So when we try to manage, we avoid such situations and people. But is it the fact that stress is out there, or is it within? So we find that when we are in harmony, we are calm, when we are comfortable within, then we are, we are able to handle these things better. We don't feel so stressed. But when we are in disharmony, we are uncomfortable, we are stressed. And this also leads to ill health in the body. Similarly, when we are in harmony, when we are comfortable, we are happy, then we tend to respond to people, situations, activities outside. But when we are in disharmony or unhappy, then we tend to, react to people, situations, and so on. So that characteristic example that we sometimes take, when does a mother beat her child? When she is comfortable or uncomfortable within? I think we can look into ourselves and get the answer for that. Next slide. So when we look at, this being happy, how do you achieve this being happy? So this also was mentioned in the morning session in the keynote, that the self or the consciousness has this need for happiness, and this is fulfilled by the activities of the consciousness, by the understanding and the right feeling in the self. So that would be called a healthy self. And with that feeling, there could be a responsibility towards the body, so that the body's health can also be taken care of. So in other words, self is the one that is central to the existence of the human being, and the self uses the body like a tool. This was the proposal that we can discuss, we can talk about, we can look at in more depth. Next slide. So ultimately, if we look at this holistic perspective of health, we would be talking about understanding mental health or health of the self. We would be talking about physical health or health of the body, understanding the body, what leads to harmony in the body, and then also look at the healthy environment, which is, we are all, as human beings, part of a family, part of a society, part of the nature. We are embedded in this nature. So we are part of a larger whole. So it makes sense to look at the environment or the whole rather than one part of it. So what would be our priority? Well, the proposal is that we look at ourselves first. We ensure health within ourselves. And with that, we can take care of the health of the body and then also the environment. So this is something that we could discuss. Dr. Dipesh?
Nice. Very nice reflections from Dr. Sharmila Asthana. In very short, if you see, Dr. Sharmila Asthana was putting forth was about, she was putting forth an important point of a program for staying in healthy. And based on the discussion what we had yesterday, we have come to a consensus, or more or less into terms that the current system of the treatment is not adequate. And another important point which was came into discussion is about the stress within, which is which might be one of the major problem of issues which are related to causing diseases. So the point, like, if we can be stress free, or it can be a situation where the stress may not lead to the health issues. That's what we are discussing. So in that context, let me invite your attention on one of the important questions like this. Let me put it this way: stress, mental health, and psychosomatic diseases are a large part of the ill health in society in the current scenario. And what we are doing is that we are managing diseases, suppressing the symptoms, not necessarily curing the diseases, right? And if you don't understand the root cause of ill health, how can we cure disease? For example, psychosomatic diseases like obesity, diabetes, essential hypertension, cancers, etc. So if we address health at the root means at the level of the cell, there is a possibility of cure. So let me take some of your thoughts on this. To start with, let me move to Dr. Satyanarayan, who has got extensive work in this field. So let me take some quick reflection from Dr. Satyanarayan on this. Over to you, Dr. Satyanarayan.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Dipesh. So you highlighted about, the question here is the psychosomatic diseases like obesity, diabetes. Do we address health at the root? If you ask me, I'll tell that already we are addressing all these diseases at the root. I am practicing and teaching modern medicine for many, many years. And modern medicine has evolved after more than 100 years of scientific research, meticulously done, and at the level of molecular, cellular, tissue level, organ level, system level research. And it treats patients based on evidence obtained from rigorous scientific research. So we have treatment algorithms and strict protocols devised with much experience and dedicated experts in diverse fields. I agree with you on the statement that if you address health at the root, there is a possibility of cure. For example, I take a disease called diabetes mellitus, which is bothering many. So in modern scientific medicine, we have identified the root cause is a lack of insulin, which is a hormone. It's a chemical. So we provide insulin that will control diabetes mellitus, and many clinical trials have been done which provides evidence that long-term control of sugar levels delays the complications of diabetes mellitus, and the patients can live a healthy life. So this well-proved evidence is there. And similarly, for all health problems, we have found solutions. Once upon a time, plague and other infections were deadly, and now with the advent of antibiotics, these infections have disappeared. In the same way, vaccines helped us to eradicate smallpox, polio, and other infections. Similarly, we hope in future modern scientific medicine will find solutions for all the non-communicable diseases, which is alarming, and the diabetes, obesity, psychosomatic disorders, essential hypertensions. So whatever it is, cancers, Already some cancers are curable with modern medicine, and we will identify the cause. And thanks to the research by dedicated researchers in the field of pharmacogenomics and artificial intelligence, nanomedicine, so many diverse fields are emerging now with technology. So these will identify the probable solution for all the diseases, whichever is challenges for us. Yes, it's a challenge for us, but as a scientific researcher, I'll promise you one day we will cure all the diseases at the root. So this is my viewpoint.
So this is what Dr. Satyanarayana has put forth. Actually, he was going for with the idea of modern medicine as a solution for the problems of health-related issues right now. So let me go to Dr. Mrinalini Gunasheelan and quick reflections on what Dr. Satyasheelan has put forth. Over to you, Dr.
Like Dr. Satyanarayana sir has said, he has posted that modern medicine has a cure for all diseases. So I am also in this modern medicine practice for over a decade now, and I would like to share my personal experience. See, I like 10 years back, I had multiple problems in my body, like neck pain, back pain, some thyroid dysfunctions, and cyst in my ovary. So, like I did a master checkup, and I was routed to different specialists to get treated for different symptoms, and I was taking these medicines, but nothing improved. But what I observed in myself is that due to my work routine, if the amount of work is increased and if I did not have good sleep, then all the symptoms were aggravated. Whereas if I had some holiday from my work and if I had good sleep, all the symptoms were reduced. So I was curious: is there any relation between this disharmony in my self, that is my stress levels, and this all these symptoms? So I did some research and I came across this autoimmune diseases. We have been reading about this in our textbooks, allopathy medicine curriculum and all, but when I did some research, I found that there was really a connection. Due to this autoimmunity, our body cells start attacking our own cells, leading to all these diseases. Like most of these non-communicable diseases, like diabetes, hypertension, and even obesity, they are all in some way related to this autoimmune diseases. They start destroying our own cells. In diabetes, in type 2 diabetes, one of the root cause for this type 2 diabetes is our own cells destroying the cells inside the pancreas which are secreting insulin. So lack of insulin is not the root cause. The destruction of the cell which produce the insulin is the root cause. And the cause for that is, one of the causes stress. And similarly, there is something called essential hypertension, which basically means in modern medicine, no reason why it is happening. So that is also related to stress levels, where there is increased production of stress hormones, which leads to this, and a long-standing thing leads to changes in our blood vessels and produces this hypertension. So these are some of the things I found out after research. And so what I did for my condition, I just changed my lifestyle habits, my food habits, and incorporated some exercises, started taking some herbs like only sprouted fenugreeks. And after 3 months with all the lab reports and diagnostic ultrasound, I found that all the symptoms in my body had gone, except for this thyroid, which it is reduced in intensity. So I think the root cause for many of the non-communicable diseases mentioned here, they lie in the disharmony in the self, mostly stress. And as I was doing some research, I also came to see many articles published in Lancet Psychiatry, American Psychological Association, which also say that most of the diseases are stress related. So yes, if we address health at the root, there is a possibility of cure, which our modern medicine is currently not doing it.
Right. So basically, Dr. Mrinalini was actually speaking from her experience, her personal experience, what I understand. She was mentioning about the neck pain, the back pain, and she going for the modern medicine. She herself becoming being a modern medicine practitioner, going to find a solution for those problems in modern medicine, and found that it was kind of a peaceful solution. That's what she was mentioned actually. And then she changed her course of medicine treatment, and then she started changing the diet and all those things. That's what she was mentioning. And one point she was actually mentioning is that the root cause of many of these autoimmune diseases is is in the stress part of what she has experienced. So, whereas the modern medicine is not looking more into the stress part. So, I would take a reflection from Dr. Satyanaran regarding this. Like, see, even though when we say that modern medicine is addressing a lot of problems, so the root cause problem is not being mentioned or identified or being addressed. That's what Dr. Minali was putting forward. So, what's your reflection on this, Dr. Satyanaran? Your mic is not unmuted, Dr. Satyanaran. Please unmute your mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So what Dr. Minali was saying that, in autoimmune disease, type 1 diabetes, it is the cells are destroyed, beta cells, the isolate of pancreas, it is destroyed. But that is correct. There's a root cause. But still, we can go for further higher level in the gene level. We can treat problems, prevent problems like this. We can identify which gene is responsible for that particular problem. Then we can treat it. But in future, we will be identifying the cause and we'll be treating the patient. Like, in the past, we were, incapable of treating infectious diseases. Currently, we can cure it. So like that, in future, we'll be doing that. That's my reflection.
Okay, so even though right now modern medicine doesn't address, probably we can do with that in the future. That's what Dr. Satya was actually proposing. Let's take reflection from other panelists also. Let me move to Dr. Aparajita Singh. Namaste, Dr. Aparajita Singh. You can put your reflections on what Dr. Satya and Dr. Minali was putting. Over to you.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I was thinking that yes, about the discussion that was made was going on in the panel was nice, and the keynote also I could relate. Like, yes, if we are focusing more on like what problems occur and later on, uh, that is also important because once the lifestyle is like that, cure if we are focusing on is good. But if uh, like it's like that, it starts, it's all fire on, then we are doing fire extinguishing. So that would take, definitely that is required. But if we can somehow see that how we can just deal it at the very level, at the level of the lifestyle itself. So I'll just see how what uh, looking at the self, will it help us, or just the information of this, is it going to change the ways people take care of their health? I don't know, with this information itself is going to help us to be more responsible towards our bodies. We'll have to look into, but it seems interesting to look at. I'll just see how we are going to implement this. Like, that is my concern.
Aparajita, if I ask you a little bit specifically, like what is your vision on what has been discussed so far? To be precise, so can you throw out some reflection on that?
Uh, I don't know. I have still to like figure out, like, so much is being said in this conference. It's good to know, but I think that there should be systems like only some percent of some person we are dealing with, like helping with well-being, mindfulness, lifestyle awareness programs. But that should be a major part, I think so. If it is a major part, then the diseases will not be there. So if we can do that, I think that would be nice.
Okay, so you are actually, now what I understand is that you are also proposing what going in the same line with Dr. Manali is actually putting forward, so that we may not have this condition of ill health more or less, and we don't have to go to take these medicines as such. That's what I understand. So that's a nice point. Let me take this reflection from Dr. Swapan Chanana also. Mr. Supanchandana. So what is your thought on the vision? You would have understood what the thought, what we had in the yesterday, the need for the change, what we have been put forth. Now, can you be a little bit more give clarity on the vision on ensuring this health. What do you think about it? Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Dipesh. I think the other panelists who are very distinguished doctors, and they are also talking about even the concept of self. But I think mainly the focus in the medicine till now is the body, I think, and we're trying to cure the body. And even like this stress and mental health, sometimes they know better, but my feeling is sometimes, again, the medicines are being given to make this body relax. But I think there is a disturbance in the mind, and there is more. You all have to explore this, even all this in the medicine, the field, the doctors, that, okay, there's a stress within, but we are trying to make the body relax. But then obviously there is counseling may also be going on. But I think we should look further. Even I have seen even the doctors are recommending that if you are having more anxiety and all that, it will take more time to heal the body. But then if I'm clear, this reality as just Dr. Shamila has put before this panel discussion, can we see this reality that am I the body, or there is a coexistence of self and body? So I think if there is a disturbance in the self, but I am trying to cure through body, it will not give the holistic solution. So very important to explore this, that if there's a stress and there is an issue, so it may be not only the body has to be cured, even there is a concept of self. If I'm again, and then if you see, and there are some chronic diseases like cancer. I belong to this Punjab area. People are using a lot of pesticides, and it's again a development. Green revolution came, but then we are trying to produce more and more, and we are trying to consume more and more, and this is bringing issue in the body, like a chronic disease like cancer. But then we are trying to consume more, we are trying to produce more. So I think there is a concept of self-regulation, or what is the need. Again, I think it's a concept, or I think the vision is that we have to do research on this. Are we body alone, or there is something more in us? There's a concept of self. I think we have to explore that, and then only we can see what are my needs, and then what are the needs of the bodies. Body is an instrument, or body is a source of happiness. So I think when body gets little disorder, we get into anxiety, that we are thinking that the body is going means I'm going. So I think again this holistic approach is very, very important. Again, the research on this, that who am I? Am I the body alone, or there is something more?
Dr. Sopan, I think there is a shortage of time also. So I
Thank
think
you. This is what I want.
What you are putting forth was, as I understand, is again the vision or based on understanding the self and the holistic vision, and that's what you are also trying to put forth. That's what I'm trying to understand. Now, let me come to the second round of the question part. So, our perspective about the human being is in isolation, more or less. That's what we have seen in the keynote. As we see right now, we see human being in isolation. While the reality is that the human being is a part of a larger whole, and human being is a part of family, is a part of the society, the nature of the entire existence. Therefore, health in the human being needs a holistic perspective, including all these. All these means the health of the family, society, and nature. So what do you think about this? That we need a holistic perspective encompassing the human being with relation to the family, society, nature, and the existence. So what is your reflection on this? That's let me ask to Dr. B. Satyanarayan. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So I feel we are isolated. Actually, we are not, as a part of a larger whole. because we have evidence that we are individuals. So check your fingerprint or your cornea, whatever it is, it is very unique for each and every individual. So suppose if I am dependent on other things like nature or society, if I die, the society also will die, but everyone is living continuously in nature, everything continues. So I feel it's an isolated phenomena. And what I feel is family, societal, man-made, institutions, not the nature-made. So I don't think, we are dependent on nature or family or whatever it is, we are independent. So that is my view. And um, so we can have individual care. That's why, we go for individualization of therapy for all patients. We consider a patient as individual and we approach them with, diagnosis, investigations, and finally treatment. So that is my view. Thank you.
Okay. So what I understand from what Dr. Satyanarayana was speaking is about his understanding about the human being can be treated in isolation. And he was exemplifying that if at all it is not being addressed in the level of society and the impact in the society as a whole, then one individual having a problem might should be reflected in the society as a whole. So let me take the reflection from Dr. Munali in this regard, where the perspective about the human being treated in isolation or being the reality as the larger whole. So over to you, Dr. Munali, to further
My view,
reflections.
thank you. So my view is we cannot view human being as an isolated entity because human beings, we don't live alone. We live with our family, with other human beings, and family is a part of society. And society, in part, it is a part of our nature and their entire existence. So all these factors, all these units, they directly affect the individual's health. Like for example, when we live in a family, only if there is a feeling of a good relationship within every family member, then the individual can live with harmony.
Any
So
kind of skill.
if there's going to be a disruption in relationships or an understanding between individuals, that is directly going to affect the individual at the level of the self. And coming to society, so only when there is a equity and a non-violent society, then that is going to ensure happiness in the family, and that is going to in turn ensure happiness in the individual human being and affect the harmony in the self, and in turn affects harmony in the body. Like for example, we can consider, like we are all lucky enough to live in a society where there is less of war happening, but around the world we can see how many wars are happening, and just we can only imagine the state of the mental health of individuals who are living in such a society where there is so much of war, violence, and inequality. So I don't think human beings can be seen in isolation. And regarding this connection with nature, human being cannot be taken looked apart from nature, because the basic facilities which we need for living, like the air, water, sunlight, and food, everything is provided to the human by the nature. So imagine if the air is polluted. Like we can take the instance of COVID pandemic, like how a virus got polluted in the air, and what did we do? We were not able to live our day-to-day life. And imagine all the pollutants in the air currently happening. And what about water? The quality of water, that is the basic. Our human body is made up of 80% of water. So if the water outside gets polluted, and if you are going to consume that water, and the food we take, it comes from the soil, earth. So if you are going to spoil that food by putting pesticides and insecticides, there are lots and lots of research that these insecticides and pesticides, they lead to cancer in our body. So I think the health of one individual, it needs to be looked in a larger whole, which will affect the self of the individual and also the body of the individual in terms of the society, the family, the nature, and everything. So yes, human being, health of the human needs a holistic perspective, including all these aspects, rather than an individualized approach.
All right. So Dr. Pranali was putting forth the interrelatedness of the human being with the family, society, and she has mentioned about the air, water, and other resources, which is part of the nature and the relatedness with the health with these resources. So what I understand is that she's actually pointing to the interrelatedness and the connectivity, which means that need to be addressed as a whole. So, Dr. Satyanarayana, does that make any sense to think like that? What Dr. Mrinalini was actually putting forth across. So, does it have any sense? Let me take your reflections on this.
Yeah, I feel it makes some sense that everything is connected, but still it's a concept only. I feel because see, self is there to show me the self, because we cannot see Dr. Mirnalini. Suppose if you ask me where is your eye, I can show the eye, but if you ask me where is your self, I cannot show it. With much modern scientific medicine with advancements,
Dr.
technology.
Satyanarayan,
Yeah,
let me quickly take this reflection from Mrinalini. Let me take this
yes,
reflection
yes,
from
please.
Mrinalini and then come back to you. So,
Yes, please.
Dr. Mrinalini, Dr. Satya is asking about self. Can you show the self? What is the role of the self? And now Dr. Mrinalini can quickly reflect on that, and then we come to Satyanarayan.
Yes, what I would say is our mind is tuned such that we can only accept what we see and what we do. So, like, I would like to ask you a question. Like, since being in medical field, I will ask it in medical terms. So, we see an object and we perceive it as an image in our retina, and that goes as neurotransmitters in our brain. And then we perceive image. So, who is actually seeing this image? Where is this image formed? Who is actually seeing this image? I think we need
Satya,
to
you want to reflect
reflect
on
on
that?
that. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. But in modern science, we have something called mind and body and mind are related, as already we have discussed that. And actually, if you see, the mind is a byproduct of what our body is, the material things. And like it, I'll give an example. If you take a betel leaf, betel nut, and soda lime, it gives red color. Red color is not inherent in each component, but it comes as a byproduct. Similarly, the combination of nervous system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, all these systems make the body, where mind, self, and all is a byproduct of that only. So we have evidence for that. The neurotransmitters we study, we observe at the neurotransmission, everything. So that's what the science says. So, what is your reflection upon that?
Yes, very true, Dr. Satyanarayanan. You have rightly pointed out what science is saying. But I am also quoting back from science. There are a lot many researches that have been done. And take for instance our brain cell or any cell in our body, which you tell is a constituent which is putting forth this mind. We have been able to go into the cell at molecular level, atomic level, even at electron protons, and even in between that electron and protons, we have been able to see. But till now, nobody in the scientific field have been able to show us the thought and feel. So we don't know, right? So there's something inside us which is there, apart from our body, that is constituting our thinking process, our desires, our feelings, our emotions, our expectations. So all these things they together constitute the self.
Can I just intervene?
Yes, dear.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dipesh,
Yeah.
I think, you shouldn't be sort of making this a contest. It is kind of, we are ignoring
debate.
the other panelists and we are
Yeah,
just
it's a
putting
debate.
two people against one another. That's actually contrary to what we want. We want a good discussion between everyone. So I think somewhere, Dipesh, you can just mention it as, perhaps we need some more research on it and close that and take somebody else's opinion. Don't go back
Yeah.
and forth like this, because then other panelists will be ignored and this will become a huge debate. No?
Yeah, true. But I
Yes,
was
you're
actually thinking that once you take, and then I was trying to say that let's keep it open for the time being and we'll move to the other points. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then again,
And the other thing is,
Satyanarayan
when
itself went,
somebody's mentioning something, talk to them directly. So when Mirunalini ji is saying something, then you don't have to summarize everything that she's saying. We just heard it. We don't have to hear it again from you. So you can just say very nice or something, just a comment, and then move to somebody else. You don't have to summarize everything she said. Talk to her directly, what I mean. No? If you look at any panel discussion, so the moderator can sometimes even put their own view and say, okay, so you're saying, or perhaps are you saying this or something like that? And then move to another panelist. Or you can just sort of comment on, okay, nice, those are your views. Very nice. Let's hear from somebody else also and move on. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
Okay. Let me get some reflection from Dr. Sopan Chanana also regarding this. Over to Dr. Sopan.
Thank you, Dipesh sir, and very nice discussion going on. Yes, this is what we can see from within our families, that if somebody is sick or even there are old people at our home, their body issues are there with the age. This is the reality again, the body will have issues. But then if you see if they are living in isolation and that the family support system is not there, I think their body health will even, it will not recover faster and it will even go worse. Because when they are in isolation, they have negative thoughts. But if it's a joint family and all that, because I belong to that state, Punjab, where the families are disintegrating and they are going for the material, all they are going to abroad. So it is visible in every locality. There are houses where the old couples, they have body issues, but then these body issues are aggravated when their near and dear ones are not there. And they're being taken care by the attendants. Even I've seen in the hospitals also. I think even these doctors can see this. I think this is visible. If there is an attendant of the family, means the person will recover more. And we all have seen that when Dr. Manali was talking about this pandemic, and the people who were in isolation, I think who went to the hospital, they were in isolation. They passed away due to that. I think that fear that they could not see their relatives. So I think family is so important. And if the families are there, even these body issues, I think will become secondary, because sometimes the emotional support is, I think even the doctors may do research on this, and they're already be doing. There are panelists here who can see this, that people recover more. And I think if these kind of families we can raise, then obviously the society will become more human. And so I think this is all connected. And nature, I think again, nature is playing a big role in our all this. I think all material which is coming is from the nature. I think even all whatever material is being used, even sophisticated, all this is all coming by working with the nature. So how can we ignore the nature? And because nature is so fulfilling for us, and I think if we will also be fulfilling for the nature, and again, I'm in that area where there's pollution, huge pollution. We all can see, and then there are issues with again like asthma. Asthma is again, I think it's a condition, and in all this pollution and all, it gets aggravated. So I think how can we ignore the nature? So I think we all are coming to this vision that this has to be a holistic approach. Things can't be treated in isolation. Surely not only the body and the human. We have to take care of all this: family, society, and nature. Thank you. That's my take on this.
Right. So that's a reflection from Dr. Sopan Chananda. So we have one more panelist. We have Dr. Aparaj Das also with us. So let me ask Dr. Aparaj Das questions also on this question. Over to you, Dr. Aparaj. Dr.
Yes, I
Aparaj,
do.
am I audible?
Yes, I am audible. I was just listening to everyone. I was just seeing that looks good, like, but like when we are talking, see, in the medical field, we are having the understanding of the brain, but how do we just fit in this self there? So we attach, so it is very difficult. We have no research on that. So how is it? How are we saying that? Even that those could be, can be questions. So it seems to be right, but how are we going to uh, fit all of this together? That is what I was thinking. Self and body, like I still yet to see how we can convince our students, or there is nothing, nothing in literature to support this. That is what I was thinking.
Okay, so for this part, let me take the reflection from Dr. Munalhi, because Dr. Prajda was actually skeptical about the concept of self and body. So you want to add something to that?
Yes, regarding the self, we all have this concern, like what we cannot see, we cannot believe in it. So I think we should start with observation. So maybe if we are able to observe the activities of self, we'll know that there is self inside our body. Because now we are all so engrossed in gross activities of the body, like we eat, we sleep, we speak with someone, we walk and we run. We tend to ignore or become ignorant about the activities of the self, because that has become like an inherent activity that is going on in the background and you're not aware of it. So maybe when we start the self observation process and look at the activities of thinking, then we'll start observing the self. And like you rightly pointed, we'll definitely need more research. So this is like an attempt where we open the forum for human being as a existence, coexistence of self and the body. So once this becomes like a concept that is accepted, then there can be more research on that. So yes, my answer to you is maybe we'll start observing, self-observing the activities of the self.
Okay, so now I think we let me take some reflections or some Q&A from some of the participants or delegates who have joined here. If any of you have any questions, we can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Dr. Shrija or Dr. Vasanthi.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You can put forth your question.
So I think throughout the discussion, I think there is a concept like we are interconnected. I think I understand that it is right. But my question, I think, like during COVID, because self and body, Sachinarayan ji was pointing out like individual healthcare and all. So my question is related to COVID. Because a few villagers, no, they were not interested to take the what do we call that? I forgot the word. The booster dose or anything.
Vaccine.
But
Vaccine.
vaccine, yes, that word I forgot. Yeah, vaccine. Many villages they didn't want, but even government forced them. So is it like are we going against their natural acceptance because if they are strong, are we disturbing them with the vaccine? So how can we understand this?
So,
Co-points, please.
Dr. Vasanthi, whom do you want to ask this question to?
Mrinalini ji actually is explaining everything in detail. So
G. Over to Dr. Munalhi.
yeah, thank you.
Dr. Vasanthi, I understand your question is why is the government forcing to take public vaccine when they are not into it? Am I understanding your question correctly?
Yes, especially COVID, because as Swapanji was pointing out, many people who underwent medical care passed away, who were in villages with their family members, they could all cure. My observation was also that.
So, see, one reason why the government wanted people to take this vaccine was there's something called herd immunity. So, that this COVID is there, virus that got spread in the air. So we didn't know where it was actually. So it was better, if and the spread was from person to person through all the coughs and droplets. So if one person gets vaccinated, it is going to stop the spread from him. So that was the concept behind vaccination. So if most of the population was covered with vaccine, then that person is also getting immunized against the disease, and the spread from the person is also getting stopped there. So that was one reason. And the second reason, second question you asked, like people in isolation are dying and people with family are not dying. For that, I would say, it's a very, very logical answer. Only people who are in their terminal stage for so much disharmony, disruption in their body and daily activity, they tend to get hospitalized. Whereas people who are able to carry on their daily activities, even with COVID infections, they did not turn up to hospitals at all. So I think in most of the villages, that was the reason. And one thing, in villages, there is less communication with the city side. In city, the air is already polluted, so the chances of spreading COVID virus was more in cities. Whereas in villages, relatively due to the greeneries and nature, the air was a little pure there. And so this transmission of virus was a little less in the air. Pollution of virus in the air was a little less. And also, the people there were able to carry out their work. If at all, some people, we do not know the real statistics. Some people who were very much disrupted in their bodily activity might have got hospitalized. So, but since we are not having the disease, this is all some empirical discussions we are having. So, we cannot rule out that people in villages did not die of COVID. It could have been a possibility, but people who were in hospital were in their end state with severely bodily disruption. The death rate among them is more, and that was visibly seen because they were in hospital, and it was recordable. So, did I answer your question, Dr. Vasanthi?
Of course, yes. I think, as a doctor, herd immunity, that's truly, I can understand that. But I think the very point we discussed now here, like for fever and all. So if we just, improve ourselves, I think we don't need to take medicine. So is it applicable to COVID and such things also? That's what I thought of. Thank you for your response. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Vasanthi, also for asking that question. There was a question like, is the self the root cause of ill health like diabetes? So
Our time is up actually.
okay.
It's
So we just started a little bit
9:30.
late. So that, yeah.
Yeah, so if we are going to take another 5 minutes, okay, we can take 5 minutes and conclude.
So we will conclude then. Yeah. Right. So it's good to have a very good discussion on the vision for holistic health from both the sides. We had panelist Dr. Satyanarayana, who was actually saying that the modern medicine itself is actually having a good amount of solving issues and health issues. And Dr. Milani was actually saying that the holistic perspective is actually the wiser side of getting into a solution in terms of health. And of course, Dr. Aparajita and Dr. Sopan also put forth their opinions on the importance of the holistic health. And so with this, let us conclude that some of us are able to see that the holistic perspective of the health is going to bring about a little bit more solution so that we can considerably reduce the issues related to health. So that's what we have come to. And probably from tomorrow discussion, based on the current discussion, we will try to see how we can implement these ideas of what has been proposed here. And let's wind it up today's session. And thank you so much for joining with us. Namaste to all.
Ji, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Few pointers that I was thinking. One is Dipesh ji and Mirunalini ji, your voices are little low. Especially Dipesh, many of the words are not clear to me. I couldn't hear them. I don't know if others could. Others can also comment on that.
Yes, a little bit, it is not much clear. I think the microphone, I think you can keep a little distance. You can make it so that
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So there is two things actually. One thing is I'm having terrible
Yeah,
cold.
Cold,
So,
cold. Yeah, we observed. Yeah.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
running nose was there.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that is
Correct.
one thing.
Mm.
Yeah, and one more suggestion in that context, I would say is that if at all you see that the voice is reducing, you can put a message, a direct message to me that voice is ready. No, maybe I may not be aware how it is being getting delivered on the other side.
Yes.
So put a direct message in the chat that your voice is so I can make some adjustments. At least keep close to my I'll keep my laptop closer or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay, that was one thing. Then, like I said, as far as possible, we shouldn't pitch one person against the other. Otherwise, it will become a debate, especially when it comes to something sensitive like the self. Mirunalini, couple of things that when people are asking about the self, rather than to talk about the activities and observing the activities, because that's too far from what, they are not even ready to acknowledge the self. So they won't be able to see that. But as doctors, we can talk about maybe things like the phantom limb, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
That they might be able to see that, there is some connection. For everybody else, when somebody amputates a limb, so now that part, say from the knee down on the left lower limb, it is amputated. After the amputation also, many patients say, there is a sensation in the foot, in that part of the foot, in that leg. Actually, there cannot be a sensation there because the nerves connecting to that are not there, because now the foot is amputated. But they still see, or they still think, they perceive that, probably because in their mind they have not accepted it yet, that the foot is gone. So there you can see that it's probably, you can say that, it's not the brain now, because the connection, only the nerve itself is not connecting there, from there to the brain. So how do you explain that? So there is no explanation really for it. If you check also, you won't find an explanation, true explanation. That's because, what we perceive as the self, that is independent of what is there in the body. So for medical people, if you say phantom limb, they know what you're talking about, because they can also see that there was no answer to it. Similarly, like Mirunalini ji mentioned, essential hypertension, we don't know the cause. Many diseases, we don't know the cause. Shrija ji's question, diabetes. Yeah, certainly it is a lifestyle disorder. So if you understand the self, you understand that the self is in charge of the body, then the self can take responsibility and do many things. And diabetes can be cured. Many, many answers are there for that. Many instances are there. So that was the answer to your question. We didn't have time to take it, but that's okay. We wrote down some other things. One thing, like I said, Dipesh, no need to summarize. So if somebody answers something, just acknowledge it directly for them. Don't answer for the third person that she said this. Just talk to her directly and say it. You also mentioned something about, can you be precise? When Aprajita ji mentioned something, extinguishing the fire, but information about the self, will it help keep the body healthy? So you can put it more gently, like, are you saying this? Or if I understand you correctly, are you saying this? No, rather than please be precise or something that sounds a little more harsh. So something like that. These were some of the things. I think Rajulji is there if you want to mention something, Rajulji.
Mr. Rajul Bhaiya. Rajul Bhaiya's mic is on.
Okay,
Maybe
so
listening to some other things.
possible. Possible. Okay, so I think, wherever it seems like somebody is very adamantly saying something, then from the moderator's point of view, also you can just mention something like perhaps, maybe if we have more research, then some of these questions can be answered or something like that. So that you are at liberty to say, I think. Other than that, I think I don't have any other issues. Anybody else could notice anything that we need to work on? We can discuss it.
I just noted that only that self is in the body. So that I just noted that. So maybe
What?
Nalini Didi was saying, na? When she was responding to me, I think so. Yeah, that self is in the body. So like that, something. So is it okay, or should we, as we keep telling in the UHV, this thing that it is associated with the body, not in the body?
I didn't get that. I think somewhere maybe her voice was low. I didn't get that. Self was in the body. I didn't hear that. But yeah, I mean, self association with the body. That is a better way to put it for us, at least.
Yes, maybe a slip of tongue. Even I don't remember saying like that when also.
Thoda sa your voice is low, Meruji. I think maybe.
I don't know. Maybe is it okay now? I'm just
Now
almost
it's
into the
okay.
laptop.
You're probably closer to the
Yeah,
laptop
I'm
now.
very close to the laptop now. If I
Yeah.
just if
You
we
can
with
check maybe the volume, or maybe Dipesh might be able to help you with that. I'm not sure.
because if I come this close, then only my eyes will be visible in the video.
Yeah. Dipesh, any suggestions?
It was not
regarding
that
voice?
low. I think it was not that low for me, for Nalini. Maybe a little bit closer it can come. That would, because in the mic now we don't have much settings. In the speaker we can reduce and increase the volume. For the mic part, actually, I don't think. Rajul Bhai has raised
In the
hand.
laptop mic, there are no settings that we can change.
How to see that? Rajul Bhai, you want to say something? Rajul Bhai, namaste. You have raised hand.
Namaste, namaste, namaste. I'll send you a screenshot and you can see that you have mic settings.
Okay,
In
nice.
fact, where shall I send it? I'll send it in the
WhatsApp group.
chat. I'll send it in the chat right now. You can.
Or I'll add you to the group. You can send it in that.
Yeah, yeah. In the meantime, I'll save it somewhere. I'll send it. Sharmil, I'll send it to Sharmil. Just now I will send that. But I was going to say that it's very nice to see that all of you are having fun also. It's a very lively discussion, and the personal sharing and specific things and All that is very encouraging, very nice.
Thank you, Jay. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste, namaste. Satyanarayan ji,
Yes,
Mrinalini ji, who all are there.
yeah.
Everybody, known people are there. No?
Huh.
Rajita ji is there, Dipesh is there, and Aditya is there.
Bhaiya, yesterday Dipesh Bhaiya has given us all an award also.
Oh, wonderful. Well done. Nice.
We are such good actors. That is what you meant. National
Eh?
award should be given.
What is that?
You were saying we all are such good actors. National award can be given to us.
Yes. Those were the good old days, you know, when we used to go fox hunting, remember?
Vasanti ji has written in the chat that Mirulandi ji's voice was very clear, loud and clear. So
Yeah.
maybe it was my setting that was a problem.
Yeah. Let's see. I can send it on some chat.
I've added you to the group, so you can also put it on the group.
Okay. Let's see.
Few comments, things I thought of saying is one thing. Sharmila Didi is actually, see, now the view of Sharmila Didi is on the hair. Only hair part is seen. So if you
Because I've come too close because I can't hear.
So what I'm trying to say is that when you're writing down, when you're noting down, only your some part of the hair is actually visible. So probably you can stay a little bit behind so that even if when you're writing, your face part will be seen in the camera.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I'm not able to hear properly. So maybe my own laptop settings, something has to be changed.
Volume can be increased.
I guess. Where is the volume? I have to check that.
Yeah, Rajul Bhaiya might be able to help you on that. It's a volume button on the function key on top, volume plus and volume minus. So that is one thing you can try.
Yeah, that volume plus and minus is for your speaker only.
It doesn't affect.
No, it's not a mic volume.
It's increasing volume by Rajul Bhaiya. So now I was increasing the volume of the speaker, and it is increasing the volume in my headphone also.
Eh?
Well, that is 100.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's 100,
Yeah, it's 100 only.
Yeah.
Let me show you that if you want to
we'll
see
have
it
to see
now.
that.
This
And
option.
even Sopan Bhaiya was also, when we look at the screen, probably you can position yourself in such a way that that will be good looking, because when cameras are on, then it would be good to position the camera in such a way that we are clear even when we are writing or we are moving. So in that way we can position ourselves. That's what I thought of.
So is this better for
Then
me?
another thing is that, see, sometimes what happens is that when the timer is running, and let's say one person is panelist is speaking, and once he completed, even then the timer might be running and timer might make a sound. So in between we can stop the timer so that if the timer is making the sound in between, even after the closing of that person stop talking, so that we can take care in the sense like
Yeah, that I
timer can
noticed
be
and I
switched
mentioned
off
also.
and then restart or something like that. So I was thought of. So another thing is that Satyanarayan ji probably can check the participants list also. So Satyanarayan ji was mentioning like Soumya ji, she was not there. Actually, she has not joined. So Satyanarayan ji, before just going to call Soumya ji, you can check the participant. Are you checking? You have the participant list in front of you?
List is there, but I didn't check today. So because everyone will be there.
Your mic is muted, Satyanarayan.
Yes. Actually, yeah. Now I'm come closer.
I'm not able to hear from your voice. Is it for me only?
No, I'm
No,
speaking.
he's perfectly audible.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll check it. No problem.
Like I can hear Satyanarayanan ji very clearly,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I could
Yeah.
not hear Miru ji and Dipesh ji very clearly.
Okay. Yeah. So that was what I thought of mentioning. And one more thing, what I thought is like, since we are from, we don't know much of the what do you call, the medical aspects, what we are discussing here, especially the four part. Like if people are saying that uh, they are putting forth some points in such a way that they say that the current system itself is more or less sufficient, then how do you defend? At least I don't know, because I don't have that knowledge of that. So is it okay, or can we get some knowledge is doctor students or somebody who is actually there or something like that, who can put forth the medical point? That was I was thinking, like because there may be some arguments, or not arguments, some points which we may need to be ready for when people are saying as against the need as well as the vision and things like that. When they are putting forth, we may need to prepare ourselves, something like that. I was thinking,
Well,
because
I
we are
think,
not
you
from.
know, we put some of the slides, like for instance, if you look at the vision part, after the panel discussion slide, there are many slides about many things. So if we go through those slides, we'll get an idea about so many things, like stress is on an all-time high, all these things that we are saying. Mental health issues are so high. There are so many deaths from all these things. So if nothing is wrong in the system, then, what is the problem? Some problem is there, isn't it? So when the other person says everything is fine, well, sorry to say, but how do you explain, so many issues are there? So
Suicides are happening at so large numbers. Suicides, even IITians, we all keep on
So-
hearing this.
So while respecting the other person's view, we need not contradict him directly, but we can say that, that is your view, that's good, but, if I may say, there might be a question regarding this, that with all these deaths and, all the problems that we are facing in health today, are we okay with this? Or can we do better? Or something like that. You need not contradict directly, but at the same time, you can raise some issue like that.
Yeah, Didi, I was
Jim.
actually thinking, I was putting that question also. Like, actually, this is needed. This value or the holistic perspective is needed. But then again, I was thinking, like, if that is being implemented as part of the mainstream education, the primary education, school education, and people are following it, then that itself will reduce the more cases of health-related issues as such. So do we need to take it? So if people ask, like, do we have to take it into the health education itself, or we can put it more in the primary education and secondary education, school education, so that people are well informed and they take not going into the sensation drive, not going into the preconditioning or verifying the preconditioning, and the society is evolving in that way. And the health education is covering when after this also, when the health is under question, or maybe some health related issues are coming. That's what we are addressing in the health. In that context, if you say it.
I didn't get your question. I didn't understand.
Okay.
what you're
Okay.
saying.
Is it because I'm not audible?
No, I couldn't understand what exactly you mean.
Okay, I was saying that when we put forth the program of health, and when we put forth the program of health, we say that the first thing is about the intake, the daily routine, the exercise, the labor,
Yeah.
all those things we say.
Mm.
So that part, if we are putting as part of the value education in the school education itself, so and people are practicing it that way, so if they are actually practicing it and from the understanding, many of the instances of health related issues, which we call it as lifestyle diseases, might not happen. And the health people might say that the what do you call it, the health education, what we are having, the modern medicine, is addressing the situations of ill health even after going through that, and they having the health related issues. So they are doing the self-regulation, and even then sometimes it may happen that people might have some feel
Yeah,
sick
so we are
at
not
points.
saying, see, we are not saying that medicine and treatment should not be there. We are saying, in addition to that, can we also do something more? Can we also have these other aspects in health? Because, yeah, in school, many things are taught, but then somewhere they fizzle out. You will notice this. I think it is, many people will notice this, that when children are in school and they get up at a fixed time in the morning and they go to school at fixed time, eat their meals at fixed time, their health is one way. When they start college and they start staying up late and getting up late, those kind of issues, many times their health deteriorates. And so somewhere, these things are important. So if we can incorporate them in the curriculum, right now we are in the curriculum. I mean, I can say, and Mirunalini ji, Satya ji will say that in our health textbooks, we don't talk of health. We talk of only disease. This disease, this symptom, this is the cure, this is the whatever. And many of them cure also is not there. So we are managing it. So lifestyle disorders and all, many times we don't know the real cause. But like Miruji was sharing, and many of us have noticed that many of these problems, once you fix the lifestyle, they vanish. So even doctors are not aware because they are not taught this. In modern medicine, we don't cover that. So if somebody is saying, then we don't have to argue with them, but we can just say that perhaps, we can do some evidence-based research because people value evidence-based research. So, one can give it a trial if we have an open mind, and we can run this as courses, and we can tell them about our own what we have done with UHV and how people's health has gotten impacted. So this is just with little bit of input. Imagine what could happen with, much more input in health. So one can put it very gently. We don't have to fight, but then one can put that point across and say, if we have some explanation for psychosomatic diseases, well and good, but right now we are spending billions of dollars on health, and yet we have all these deaths. We have all these psychosomatic diseases. So somewhere we are missing the point, or something is wrong. And if we can find what is wrong and fix it, then maybe we'll have better health. So perhaps we can give it a try, and we can leave it at that. But they are free to disagree. That's fine.
Yeah, these all points are there, Didi. But what I'm trying to say is that if I'm putting it this way, that like this has to be part of the primary education, and the health and health addressing in the modern medicine is need not change. Can it be like that?
That's what I'm trying to say. If you put it in primary education, see, in school, all children have physical PT, no? They have games. They have fixed timings for lunch. All that vanishes when children go to college, university, and ill health starts happening more and more frequently. So have it in primary, have it in secondary, have it in all of education, including health, your medical curriculum. What's the problem? As a healthcare system, are we going to take care only of disease and treating disease, or can we talk about health? We'll be spending a lot less if people are a little more healthy. Then we won't need to spend so many billions of dollars on medication and treatments. No? I don't know. Am I making it clear? Or the questions?
Yes, Didi.
SG, very clear. Yes.
Because health in the body, then self-regulation in the self, that concept of self has to be explored. I think that
Yeah, true.
is
It is
about.
not being explored right now. That's for true. That's for sure. It's not being explored. That is why we are in this space of not addressing about the health, and we falling for our preconditionings and sensations. All this happens because we don't have this understanding. That clarity of understanding is not there, because even in the school mainstream education also we don't have that.
Yeah,
so once we don't have that. So once
Yeah.
we have that, and that is the most important part. And once we have that, many of these lifestyle diseases, so-called, might be reducing considerably.
Yeah.
In modern medicine also, even after that, if somebody is coming with a disease, then also we have to talk health. Every time we have to talk of health,
Yes.
not about treatment. Every time we
Yes.
have to talk health. But important part is that addressing the crucial missing link, which is actually the education in the school days, throughout the school days up to the graduation or whatever it is. So that has to be there, which is the crucial missing link, because of which we are in the current phase of so much of lifestyle disease. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so everywhere it's required. Certainly we can
Yes.
put it everywhere. Yeah, Rajulji would like to say something, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to applaud this group also for only 2 groups are discussing. They are reviewing their day. Lots of stamina, and you all have so much stamina that this is wonderful. And commitment. So that's really nice to see. But get some sleep so you have time tomorrow, and you have to
Yes.
do the thing tomorrow. And also you can, I mean, it's good that this discussion is going on. So complete it. It's okay. You can spend some more time on it. But the YouTube recordings are there, so you can see them later
Nice.
on also, and you can see pieces of it or go forward to any piece, any part. So you can easily see those recordings and then come up with your areas of what went well and what needs to be improved and all that. So you can see them. Nice. So wonderful. Nice to see everybody still there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ji. Namaste
Thank
very
you,
much.
Rajabhaiya.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Vasanti ji would like
Okay.
to say something.
Didi, I was about to say, because one of our friends, now I was telling her that in medical education also UHV is going to be introduced and all. She is a doctor. Just, I mean, for input, I'm giving you Didi so that you can anticipate the questions from any such people. She said that they have already SPM, they speak about society there and individual care and all. And I heard that NTR University in Andhra, they have community health program that for student, every medical student, they are attaching a few families, like continuously they are monitoring. There was a program in previous government. Whether it is continuing now or not, I don't know. I'll find it out and tell you, Didi. Another one, NTR Health University, they are conducting induction program for medical graduates. This is just for information, Didi, I'm giving. So all these things they are talking to the medical graduates.
Yeah, so
This is
induction program in terms of what? They're doing UHV or something else?
not directly UHV. What she was
That's what.
saying when I was explaining, they say that these are all terminology, different terminology, but we are also doing the same.
Yeah, one would have to see what that is. I know all about SPM and what we do in SPM is very
Just
different.
I'm giving
Yeah,
information, Didi.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think Aprajita ji had raised her hand. Not anymore.
Nothing most important, Didi. Just saying that because the pronunciation of the panelists maybe, na? I was saying that Sopan Bhaiya also maybe. So that also, I don't know whether it is important or not, because we may be not pronouncing people coming from outside like Bhutan or somewhere, na, like not properly. So maybe we can address that. That is what I was thinking. That's it, Didi.
But that you mean the names of the people who will be
Yeah,
joining?
yeah. जी 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 जी
Yeah.
पता
I
नहीं कितना
mean,
इम्पोर्टेंट है
Dipesh
क्या
had
वो पता
some
नहीं
Dipesh had some concern regarding, medical issues or something that if medical people talk about something, we can try to do this that, if possible, keep only medical people as moderators. That we can try to do. In fact, Rajuji has left. He had given a suggestion that why don't we ask Nitin Nagarkar sir for whether he would, be willing to moderate some of the sessions, because we can give him the example of Jalani ji. He is in such a high position. He is going to chair the, on all the 3 days. But we are likely to have more than one panel. We have many people who are interested. So can we, Satya ji and Meeru ji, can we talk to Dr. Nitin regarding moderating some of these sessions?
Yes, we can talk, but he's very, very busy. Actually, now he has become Pro Vice Chancellor of SRM,
Oh,
MHS. So we won't get even time, very, very precious for him. But we can ask, no problem. But I think probability is very less. Yes, G.
But anyway, you can just give it a shot and see.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
No?
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
in case, and do mention to him that Manoj
Yeah,
Jalani, who
definitely.
is
Yeah, yeah.
with WHO, is doing is doing on all the 3 days sessions. Even if Nitinji is not able to do all the days, even if he could do one day, just one moderating of one session, that would also be very nice if we could get him involved in this.
Sure, Jay. I'll ask him. Yeah.
Just try and
Sure.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should close. Thank you,
जी, जी,
everybody. It was a wonderful, nice time. And I think we should really get some rest. And tomorrow we have one more session. And tomorrow I have to be there for all the sharings, I believe. That means all day only. But
Maybe tomorrow now I'm having an election duty, that training program. So I have to go there. So maybe I'll not be available tomorrow.
oh, what time you are going?
9 o'clock till 2
Okay,
o'clock.
okay. Yeah, so you won't be there.
Ji.
Tomorrow we had somebody else, no? For
Another thing, once a concern, Didi, actually, Soumya Didi is supposed to moderate tomorrow. Soumya Didi couldn't join today also. So I'm not sure. So in case she's not able to do, then I don't know who was the backup. Somebody has to be ready for that.
you are who is the moderator was also Soumya. Who was the
Moderator was
backup
Soumya.
for Aprajita?
Let me see. Pooja ji actually.
Pooja ji is nowhere on the scene only.
And Soumya ji's backup is Satya ji.
Huh?
Satya ji is the backup of Soumya ji in moderator.
Okay, so Satya ji, can we have your moderation tomorrow?
Gee, I'm going for a marriage ceremony tomorrow.
Oh, morning.
Morning, yeah, because I don't have tomorrow, so I thought we planned that.
Oh, okay. So then what to do? Maybe I'll do moderating tomorrow then.
Yes, Gee, possible.
I'll do my part of sharing the slides. Somebody can introduce me, or Dipesh, you want to do moderation?
What do you want, Diti? Like, do you want me to do that, or do you prefer to do that?
I can't hear you at all.
Do you want to do that? Do you prefer me to do that?
I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
It's just that we'll just double up. I mean, somebody can introduce me. You can be anchor then. Can you be anchor?
I can be anchor. Yeah, I can be anchor.
Okay. So you be anchor, then you introduce me. And then I'll do these slides and I will start the moderating. It's okay.
Or should I do it? Is it like, should we reverse the roles? Like I put forward that slide thing and then you do the moderation?
Yeah, you can do it, but you have to put the slides very briefly. Don't do a whole extensive thing because you might have noticed I didn't go through the whole slide also. I went through a very quick rundown. I gave myself 5 minutes to do the slides and I was able to do it, I think, 5-7 minutes. Not sure how much time I took. The clock was not there. I couldn't see it properly. But basically, I thought 5 to 7 minutes for those slides. I had like 5 slides or so.
So
otherwise, because you're not used to, now you haven't been looking at it. Who else? Miruji, what was your role tomorrow?
Didi, I was to put up that challenges partner, the counter panelist.
Okay. That is also
actually
important.
tomorrow's UHV panelist is Swapanji.
Yeah. So we'll see. If we don't have anyone, it's all right. I'll do the moderation for tomorrow.
Probably sometimes Soumya Didi might be able to join. That also might happen. Today
That
she
is
was not
also
able to
possible.
join. Yeah.
That is also possible. Anyway, I'm back up eventually for everybody, so I can do the moderation. It's okay.
Gee.
Okay, nice. Very good. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Stay. Good night.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
good
night.
rest.
Namaste.
See you all tomorrow.